Hey everyone, my name's Mike, and today I want to discuss on why I think the use of torture is an effective means in keeping our national security. The first thing I want to do is kind of define torture. With a quick Google search, anybody's able to kind of look up what torture is. Um, but one definition I found was interesting, and that definition of torture was the action or practice of inflicting severe pain on someone as a punishment or to force them to do or say something for the pleasure of the person inflicting the pain. Uh, that was an interesting definition because I don't think torture is necessarily utilized for that in the means that I'm trying to construe it as for national security. So, who utilizes torture in the United States, and why do we utilize it? Well, the United States military, for one, utilizes torture, or did utilize torture, as well as the FBI, CIA, specifically the CIA, and some other agencies. The CIA being one of the most known and open about the uses of torture, especially during the War on Terror. But with that definition of torture, I like to kind of change that up and make it as torture is a way of at times inflicting pain or persuading or extracting sensitive information from an individual, whether the individual be a detainee, a prisoner, or some kind of other captive that we would have. So, why is this so important that we obtain this information, this sensitive information? Well, first and foremost, it's intelligence, and intelligence can be, you know, an important factor in keeping our national security. Our national security being really safeguarding not only us as the people of the United States, but our territory, so our borders, and our way of life, or the American way of life. Uh, Torture is just really one means of intelligence gathering, where we have now technological, geographical, social, economical, all these different forms of intelligence gathering, but it's just one means that's more of a blunt face to face. And with that initial definition that I kind of or spoke of torture, many people misconstrue um, what torture is. They think of it directly as just inflicting pain, beating, mauling kind of individuals, where it's not necessarily the case. Many forms of torture are more psychological, where a captive may be in isolation, they may be sleep deprived, sensory deprivation, may have stress inflicted on them, or sensory bombardment, where the CIA in past has used music, different songs, to where it would just drive the individual almost crazy, to where they would want to give up any information that they had. Other forms are more physical forms, where you would have forced nudity, you'd have sexual humiliation, cultural humiliation, where that individual's cultural views or religion or whatever it may be was frowned upon and made to do certain things that would go against that religion or culture. Inflicting extreme cold, inflicting phobias, or enhancing and kind of prying on those phobias. And then the most famous is that waterboarding, which was not only utilized but very heavily or critiqued on, was waterboarding. And that waterboarding is essentially where a person is kind of made to feel like they're drowning, again, kind of leading into that phobia. But what it does is it extracts information, and this information is able to um, enhance and prevent our nationals, and enhance really our national security by preventing negative things to happen, especially with high value targets or individuals that have this sensitive information. Some examples of where torture has came in fairly handy would be in the capture, or not necessarily the capture, but the killing of Osama bin Laden, where detainees in Guantanamo Bay were interviewed or interrogated utilizing means of torture in order for them to kind of give up the information that they had, and this led to the killing of Osama bin Laden, which directly plays into our national security as the United States as well as many other countries. But that was just one example. There are many other examples, whether it be with the capture of Khalid Sahak Mohammed, sorry if I said that wrong, or the capture of Ramzi bin al-Shabi. And all these captures or killings are derived really from the use of torture. So again, is torture the best means and sole means of intelligence gathering? No, I don't think it is, but I do think it is a key role in intelligence gathering and should continue to be. And I know many Americans feel the same way as I do. With that, approximately more than 50% of the U.S. populace believes that torture is a key role and player in our national security and should continue to be. Thank you for listening to my opinion, and I would like to hear if you had anything differ or agreed with anything that I had to say. Thanks.